Man's Search for Meaning is a powerful and influential book written by Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, psychiatrist, and existential psychologist. Published in 1946, the book details Frankl's personal experiences in Nazi concentration camps during World War II and outlines his psychotherapeutic approach known as logotherapy. It is considered one of the most important books on the human condition and the search for meaning in life. Here's an overview of the book. Personal experience in concentration camps. The first part of the book recounts Frankl's harrowing experiences as a Holocaust survivor. He describes the physical and emotional suffering he endured during his time in Nazi concentration camps, including Auschwitz. Through his first-hand accounts, Frankl provides a chilling look into the depths of human despair and the struggle for survival. The search for meaning. The central theme of the book is the human pursuit of meaning. Frankl argues that the primary drive in human beings is not pleasure or power, as Freud and Adler proposed, but the search for a purpose and meaning in life. He illustrates how even in the most extreme conditions, individuals can find meaning and purpose, which gives them the will to survive. Logotherapy. Logotherapy is a psychotherapeutic approach developed by Viktor Frankl. The term logotherapy is derived from the Greek word logos, which can be translated as meaning or reason. At its core, logotherapy is based on the belief that the primary human drive is the search for meaning and purpose in life. Here's a more comprehensive exploration of logotherapy. 1. The will to meaning. Logotherapy posits that the fundamental motivation for human beings is the will to meaning. This means that we are driven by a deep need to find purpose and significance in our lives. Frankl argues that life has inherent meaning, and it is our responsibility to discover and fulfill this meaning. 2. Meaning in suffering. A central tenet of logotherapy is the idea that even in the face of suffering and adversity, meaning can be found. Frankl himself, a Holocaust survivor, witnessed this firsthand. He believed that by finding meaning in suffering, individuals could transform their pain into a source of strength and resilience. 3. Freedom of will. Logotherapy emphasizes the importance of individual freedom and responsibility. Frankl believed that while we may not always have control over our circumstances, we always have the freedom to choose our responses to those circumstances. This freedom of will is a cornerstone of logotherapy. 4. Search for a unique meaning. Logotherapy recognizes that the meaning of life is not a one-size-fits-all concept. Each person's search for meaning is unique and deeply personal. Logotherapy encourages individuals to explore their own values, beliefs, and goals to uncover their individual purpose. 5. Paradox of suffering. Frankl discussed the paradox of suffering, highlighting that suffering is an inevitable part of life. However, even in the most challenging situations, individuals can find meaning by rising above their circumstances and choosing a path that aligns with their values and aspirations. 6. The uniqueness of each individual. Logotherapy underscores the uniqueness of each individual. Frankl believed that every person has their own potential and path to fulfillment. The therapist's role is to help individuals identify their meaning and assist them in living a life that aligns with it. 7. Spiritual dimension. While logotherapy is not inherently religious, it acknowledges the spiritual dimension of human existence. It recognizes that individuals often find meaning in their connection to something greater than themselves, whether that be a higher power, nature, or a sense of purpose. 8. Coping with existential frustration. Logotherapy provides strategies for coping with existential frustration, the feeling of emptiness or meaninglessness. By exploring one's values, setting goals, and taking responsibility for one's choices, individuals can address existential angst. 9. Transforming suffering into achievement. Frankl's experiences in the concentration camps led him to conclude that individuals can transform even the most extreme suffering into a form of achievement as they discover meaning in their ability to endure and maintain their humanity. In summary, logotherapy is a psychotherapeutic approach that emphasizes the search for meaning as the fundamental human drive. It offers a unique perspective on personal freedom, responsibility, and resilience, particularly in the face of suffering. Existential analysis. Frankl's work is deeply rooted in existential philosophy, which explores questions about the nature of existence, freedom, responsibility, and the search for meaning. He weaves these philosophical concepts into his psychotherapeutic approach. The 3 phases of concentration camp life. Viktor Frankl observed that individuals interned in concentration camps typically went through 3 distinct psychological phases as they coped with the extreme conditions and the immense suffering. These phases not only provide insight into the human experience in such dire circumstances, but also demonstrate the resilience of the human spirit. Here's a more comprehensive exploration of these phases. 1. Shock, apathy, and depersonalization. The first phase, often described as the shock phase, occurs when individuals are first transported to the concentration camps. The shock of sudden separation from loved ones, the brutality of camp life, and the loss of personal freedom can be overwhelming. During this phase, inmates often experience deep shock, apathy, and a sense of depersonalization. They became numb to their surroundings and the suffering they witnessed as a way to protect themselves from the trauma. 2. The adjustment phase. The second phase represents the inmates' gradual adjustment to camp life. As they adapted to their new reality, they began to find ways to cope with their circumstances. They formed bonds with fellow prisoners, developed strategies for survival, and accepted the daily routines of the camp. In this phase, individuals started to reclaim a sense of normalcy, albeit within the grim confines of the camp. 3. The phase of finding meaning. The third and most crucial phase is the discovery of meaning. In this phase, individuals began to find a sense of purpose and meaning in their suffering. They searched for reasons to endure and opportunities to help others. Whether it was through acts of kindness, sharing meager resources, or maintaining a sense of dignity, prisoners who reached this phase found that meaning was their source of strength. Frankl himself found meaning in comforting and counseling fellow inmates, sharing his experiences and envisioning a future beyond the camp. It's in the third phase that individuals exhibited remarkable resilience and inner freedom. By finding meaning, they were able to withstand the most severe conditions and suffering. They retained a sense of dignity and moral integrity, regardless of the inhumane treatment they endured. Frankl's observations in concentration camps highlight that even in the bleakest situations, the human spirit possesses an innate need to search for meaning. This quest for meaning is a driving force that can help individuals find the will to endure and make the most of their circumstances. These phases have significant implications for understanding resilience. They demonstrate that meaning can be a powerful factor in helping individuals cope with extreme adversity. The ability to discover purpose and significance, even in suffering, can lead to remarkable psychological and emotional resilience. In summary, the 3 phases of concentration camp life, as described by Viktor Frankl, illustrate the complex and profound psychological journey of individuals facing extreme suffering. They underscore the indomitable human spirit's capacity to seek meaning, adapt to harsh conditions, and ultimately find purpose and resilience even in the most dire circumstances. Case studies. The book contains poignant case studies of individuals Frankl encountered in the camps and later in his clinical practice. These stories illustrate how even in the most dire circumstances, individuals can find meaning in various ways, such as by maintaining a sense of humor, envisioning a future, or clinging to spiritual beliefs. The ultimate human freedom. In Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl introduces the idea of the last of the human freedoms, which he describes as the ultimate human freedom. This freedom is a fundamental concept in logotherapy, his psychotherapeutic approach. Here's a more comprehensive exploration of this concept. 1. Freedom of inner choice. The last of the human freedoms refers to the freedom of inner choice, the ability to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. Frankl argues that this freedom is inherent to human beings and cannot be taken away even in the most extreme situations. 2. Beyond external control. Frankl's experiences in Nazi concentration camps, where external conditions were beyond his control, led him to realize that the only domain over which he had complete authority was his inner world, his thoughts, attitudes, and responses to the external environment. 3. Transforming suffering. This concept underscores the profound idea that even in the face of suffering and adversity, individuals can choose how they respond. They can transform their suffering into a source of personal growth, resilience, and a deeper understanding of themselves. 4. Responsibility for one's reactions. Frankl emphasizes that individuals are ultimately responsible for their reactions to life's challenges. While they may not control the external circumstances, they do have the freedom to determine their internal responses, their attitudes, and their interpretations of those circumstances. 5. A source of empowerment. Understanding and embracing the ultimate human freedom can be profoundly empowering. It means that even in the most difficult situations, individuals have the power to maintain their dignity, inner integrity, and moral values. 6. Choosing love over fear. Frankl encourages individuals to choose love over fear in their responses. Rather than reacting to suffering with bitterness or resentment, he argues that individuals can choose to respond with love, compassion, and forgiveness. This choice can lead to a sense of purpose and meaning, even in suffering. 7. Spiritual dimension. The ultimate human freedom has a spiritual dimension. Frankl suggests that by exercising this freedom, individuals can connect with a higher purpose or meaning in life, which may transcend their immediate circumstances. Overall, man's search for meaning is a deeply moving and thought-provoking exploration of the human capacity for finding meaning, purpose, and resilience in the face of extreme suffering. Frankl's personal experiences and psychological insights have made this book a classic in the fields of psychology, philosophy, and existentialism, offering profound lessons on the human spirit's capacity to rise above adversity and discover meaning even in the most challenging situations. If you found this crash course helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more insightful content. And as always, keep thinking, growing, and reaching for your dreams. See you in the next video.